Let's go back to High Point now. Meteorologist Brian Slocum, who is off the clock working from home. He joins us now. And Brian, you saw some things and you heard some things that you've not seen or heard in a long time. Can you give us your experience maybe within the last hour or so?
Yeah, within a few minutes of my conferring with Michelle and Jacqueline about a storm that was over Davidson County between Lexington and Welcome. Some of the same storms are tracking now. At about 4:40 or 4:45 or so, tornado warning went up for that storm for Forsyth, for Davidson, and for Guilford County. The track of that storm intensified very, very rapidly. Came within a couple of miles of our house, and we saw the wind pick up very, very quickly. Blinding rain for a while. We took shelter in our basement like we're supposed to, and it moved through very quickly, in a matter of a minute, maybe 2 minutes tops. Upon hearing about some damage, I went to investigate. I'm currently sitting right now in my car near the intersection of Business 85 and South Main Street in High Point, and police and fire have one of the roads blocked off at Southwest Cloverleaf Place because of a few very large downed trees. I've sent photos back. I don't know if we've been able to get them to air yet, but in addition to that, there is a motel behind it where several people, and I haven't sent those photos in yet, several people had the windows blown out of their vehicles due to either flying debris or due to the wind itself. So, looking at these things and seeing a number of areas where damage came through over the years, I did notice that the two large trees that did come down were facing in the same direction. To me, and with a small sample size, that's usually an indicator of straight line wind damage, but it's really too soon to tell. That is all the damage we've been able to find so far, but I'm hearing of potentially some structures that are roofless at the moment due to some of the strong winds that came through here.
And Brian, we absolutely are seeing your pictures. We have them on screen right now along with your telephone graphic here. In terms of what you've seen, have you spoken to anybody? We are not hearing of any injuries at this time, but it is still very early. And when you talk about people having their car windows blown out, it's hard to imagine escaping that completely unscathed.
Yeah, I think that it was in a parking lot, so most of the people were indoors at the time. There weren't, coming out of moving vehicles, so people were just kind of milling around, kind of looking at the damage. Nobody wanted to talk to me at the moment. They were still trying to, try to find insurance information and whatnot. People were a little bit freaked out. We've seen bad storms through here before. But the storm did ramp up pretty quickly. It had a pretty clear radar signature that it was a severe and rotating thunderstorm. It's just too soon to tell with any degree of certainty what kind of storm it was. Was it tornadic? Was it straight line winds? But we definitely have damage in downtown High Point.
And right now, Brian, you can't see it, but we are showing images of more trees down in the Baker Road area of High Point. Again, your hometown, while a tornado warning remains in effect in Alamance and Caswell counties. We heard from a viewer who was not far from where you were earlier, who described screaming in her car as the sky went from a little bit of rain to pitch black. She says she heard that signature freight train in the background. High Point certainly no longer in the crosshairs at this time. In terms of everyone's emotional state and people that you've talked to, you're a father. There are lots of children that may be watching with their parents right now. What are you telling your boy about this?
Well, we did what we were supposed to do, and I have to say that, as a meteorologist, and when bad storms come through, our instincts are to go take a look. Based on what I saw on radar, we went immediately into our basement. I made sure he was settled. We heard the winds pick up. I heard the rain. I very cautiously kind of got a sense of what was happening and was able to safely shoot some video of the storm as it was passing by. The storm itself, at least where we live, and I'm in a location now where we have damage that I would guess is probably about 2 to 3 miles south of where our home is. And we didn't see the sky go black. It was blinding rain. I could only see maybe a couple of houses down the street. But the rain was coming in sideways. The winds were blowing very high in the treetops. Among the wind I could hear high in the trees, I could hear the tornado siren going off nearby at High Point University. So it was And that's something I haven't heard in the 16 years that I've lived in High Point. So it was close. It was a very close call to where we are. From where my vantage point is here, the damage doesn't look to be terribly extensive, but there is debris everywhere. There are fences down. There are large trees down in the area. And while they are isolated, we're still looking around to see what kind of structural damage there is.
Brian, we really appreciate it. Glad that you and the family are okay. Thanks very much for the images, and thank you for being wise about when you went to go get them. We appreciate all you do for us.
All right. Thanks, bud.
We will talk to you soon. Another component